Hey everybody, late night spork, Mr. Spork's hands. If you're hungry, don't have anything in the kitchen, you want to make an omelet at 2 a.m., here's how you do it. Start, turn your pan on nice and high. Tablespoon of butter. We're going to cook the filling, in my case that's mushrooms. Let that melt down. Also, while we're letting that melt, mise en place, got a plate in the oven getting nice and hot. 2 eggs, nice high-sided whipping bowl, balloon whisk so you can whip some air into them. Kind of critical to get the air into them. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of sea salt, tablespoon of water per egg. If your eggs are particularly dense, sometimes that helps whip them up a little bit. Sometimes you leave it out. Just depends. 3 or 4 mushrooms, sliced any way you feel like them. A little bit of Parmesan cheese. I won't use the whole thing. I like to use a micro rasp, micro grater, microplane, rasp, grater, whatever you want to call it. Don't forget the hot plate. That's critical. Beautifully done hot omelet on a cold plate, and you've ruined it. I realize that watching butter melt in a pan isn't the most exciting of videos, but I really wanted to do this in real time so that you could see from cold pan to finished omelet on a plate. It was barely 8 minutes. The only thing I did before the video was chop a few mushrooms. Butter's going for the mushrooms, so I can go ahead and throw them in. Try to get them out in a single layer if you can, that always helps. Mushrooms need to release the moisture, so a tiny little bit of salt here. That's unsalted butter, by the way. Tiny little bit of pepper as well. While the mushrooms cook, you can go ahead and crack your eggs into the bowl. Knock them nice and hard on the flat side of the bowl. Pinch of salt in the eggs. A little bit more pepper in the eggs as well. I'm going to use maybe a tablespoon of water, a little bit more. Balloon whisk. It's all in the wrist action. You want them nice and foamy. That foam is why you thin them out with a little bit of water sometimes if they're being a little bit thick. See that foam starting to develop? That's good. That's what we want. Set those aside till we're ready for them. Plastic spatula will help you get those out completely. You start to smell the mushrooms, it's time to move them. You'll notice that I didn't touch them until I could smell them. Basically that allows them to color nicely on the bottom side. If you move them around too much, they never really cook. I need to pull my hot plate out. Pause just a second. Okay, that plate is piping hot. That's important. I can really smell the mushrooms now, so they're pretty much done. Nice color on them. See that golden color there? I'm going to pull them out for just a second. Now with the plate fully hot, another tablespoon of butter goes in. Give your eggs another quick whisk. When that foaming stops, shake your pan to distribute it well. In go the eggs, every last bit. Shake it around just a little bit to distribute. A little bit of cheese at this point. Mushrooms go back in. Nice and puffy. Edges are all released. Give it a shake. A little bit of a flip. Then over onto your hot plate. And flip over. Didn't quite get it perfect. It's okay, it's 2 in the morning, who cares? But you'll notice how short a time I cooked those eggs, and that they were still a little bit liquid when I was ready to unplate them. So there you go. Decorate a little bit more if you want, but basically that hot plate finishes cooking the eggs. They're nice and moist inside, a little bit of flavor inside, not too much, not overloaded with a bunch of junk. That's breakfast.